Hello everyone, Eden Crafters released a new major update, the 5th planet, Pyraxis. This, as far as I know, is the final planet, at least that was planned during the early access. I'm guessing after this, we're gonna get updates to the other planets again. So let's get started. Besides the extreme heat, I wonder what our major obstacle is gonna be here. Oh boy. We have a couple items in our spaceship. Let's see, how the hell does everything work again? It's been a while, man. I always have this problem. Let's make a quick living compartment. As we are safe in here, and we can do the rest from our drone. Seems like we have a volcano over there that's probably going to erupt after some time. Get a workstation in here. There are a few iron nodes around, so that is good. I wonder if we can do something against the immediate heat quickly. This is going to be kind of hard to, explore the planet like this. We're gonna have to be cooped up the entire time. Well, looking at it, one of the new things we get is a geothermal unit. And it's better than the wind turbine. It also does cost a little more. But yeah, it produces a bit more electricity, and it seems to be part of the Terraformation tab. So that is what we use to regulate heat, I guess because we are consuming it and putting it into power. Which means we're going to need some iron. Actually, can we craft a drill? We need more cement. Luckily, that's just a bit of stone, so no big deal. And I have to manually go there. It's kind of weird, like, the area has to be, like, properly loaded sometimes in order for you to place a drill. I do hope that this planet is kind of similar to Nova Terra, in the way that we can find, like, old bases and some lore, stuff like that. Because that's something I loved a lot from Nova Terra. So what does this do? Temperature regulation, or T Celsius regulation, which I imagine is temperature. It is as 50%, so it's going pretty damn quick. Take a quick look at the map. So it seems like besides the volcanic area, everything is pretty much connected. Except for maybe like some small outliers here. I guess that is pretty different from most their planets. I guess that's good. Not like we can really get anywhere though, to be honest. Oh wow, the temperature has dropped into normal range. Means this thing has done its job. It's still pretty hot by the looks of it, but it's doable. Alright, we have access to the advanced miner, so we should get on that soon. With soon I mean preferably like right now. Water extractor. Like I said, I guess this works similarly to the geothermal unit, where it just takes it from underground. Yeah. I guess it said the planet had like 5% water. Which of course makes sense. I mean, look at the damn place. This is a river of lava. So that it wasn't going to have a whole lot was kind of a given. Alright, with that we have enough for our very first advanced miner. Gonna go straight on there. Now we can create conveyors. We're going to need some plates for that, I'm pretty sure. But I guess first let's make a forge. That way we can have it directly go to that and smelt into ingots. Saving us a little bit of time. Man, these things were fast. So much faster than the original one. And it can also hold a lot more storage. And let's say for right now, we just want to have forge over here. Have a conveyor go to that. And this will be set to iron. And with that, automation is complete. Nice. Now it wants us to terraform. We have to build that water excavator extractor, which requires rotors. Good old rotors. Hate of my existence in early game. So yeah, I think there was rubber belts, right? Yes. Rubber belts, so we need rubber. Until you have this all automated, this is one of those annoying parts. Because it takes kind of a lot of organic to craft some of these items. And I always forget to empty this thing. Actually, before we do anything, let's... Wow. This also requires the rotors, but only one of them. Yeah, what I want to do first is make an analysis radar. Just so I can see where there's copper, because we're going to need a lot of that as well. And I think those little copper pieces have kind of dried up around here. Of course, the major issue as well is it's extremely hot on the planet, so we can't really go out too far. Oh, the closer we get to the lava, the hotter it gets as well. I mean, it makes sense, of course. But didn't expect it to work that way in this game. Oh, would you look at that. A little steppy stone area straight into the lava there. get away from it though, like it's hot as heck. Alright, there we go. We have an antenna. Oh, we have the supplies for one. Now we have an antenna. There is a large copper vein right here. Alright, that's good. That is not super far. Alright, what we shall do is place a forge over here. This is where we're gonna pull all the copper towards. And we rush over real quick to the copper vein. And there it is. Quickly slap one of these on there. Okay, good. It's actually mining. And we bring this conveyor all the way back home. Or presumably as far as we can get it, actually. I did try to make as many iron plates as well, I mean, I could have made so many more, but I kind of expected this to be enough, to be honest. Doesn't look like it will be. But that's an easy fix, seeing as iron is no longer a problem. There we go, now we have enough. Let's slot that into the forge. Forge be making copper. And now that we have to wait anyway, we may as well make another one of the advanced miners and forges, and put one on the rocks to make cement. Our power is failing as well, so we have to put down more geothermal plants. Seems like the copper is almost here. That's fine, because it gives me just enough time to fix up the stone into cement. Let's make another geothermal unit. Let's see if we can place it right next to here. Let's see if it makes the area a lot cooler. It seems to be at 100%. Alright. Then I think what I want to do is I want to place a couple around. Just so I can have a little bit more of a maneuverability when going about my day here. Though I'm not sure how strong these are per se. Like, if I place one close to the lava pool here, it's also nighttime, so it's going to be a lot cooler than normal. And let's say I place one right here. I wonder if that will negate all the heat from this lava pool. I kind of doubt it, but we'll see in a little bit when that's done. How's this going? Copper's being smelted. Rocks are almost here. And let's work on the next step, which is that water extraction system. Make the second rotor. There we go. And now we can start working on water. I'm gonna put that right here. How much water is that creating? Just straight up 50 liters right out of the get-go. That's pretty good. And the greenhouse itself also isn't too crazy. We just need silica, which I don't have a whole lot of either. But that could be fully automated too. If we have a quartz deposit nearby. Those are pretty far off though. Yikes. Well, we'll worry about that later. I think I did see a couple around here. Around the lava pool at least. We can immediately check if the heat gets negated. Which it seems like it does. That's crazy. These things are powerful. Well, as simple as that. We have enough for the greenhouse. These early game things don't really take a whole lot of resources, luckily. There we go. This is now producing organics, and we can take that out. And it wants us to immediately start on the ground fertilizer, which actually we can already make. That's good. And it does mean that needs to be a hub instead of just its own pipe, but again, easy fix. Remove that. Have this go into... Didn't really think about that. I was a bit too close. Okay, there we go. High temperature. Yeah, I don't think we can do much about that. And this ain't pumping enough water. Luckily, though, with the current output of organics, that is not that big of a deal. Because look at how fast this thing goes. We need some more rotors. We can quickly craft those up now. Wow, as quick as the rubber will craft, that is. Because compared to many of the other items at this stage, it goes pretty damn slow. Let's place the other one right here. Have this go into there. There we go, now it's at a full 100% capacity. Up next, it wants us to create this thing. I'm gonna take a computer as well as some antennas. Antennas, not that big of a deal. The computer takes... it just takes some copper plates, so they're not too bad. However, we're gonna do that in a second, because I want to have a part producer. Because I want to have that organic that comes out of that automatically be turned into the base rubber. And I'm probably immediately into rubber belts afterwards. However, the one problem with that is definitely going to be the silica again. We're going to need more quartz. Though to be fair, with how inexpensive the geothermal units are, we could just place down a bunch along the way towards the quartz mining section, because it should be like right over there. Well, a bit over there, I guess. Seems like during daytime, it's not really keeping up. But not near the lava pool, at least. Alright, with that we have enough for 2 part producers. Have it go off to the side here. This one is being set up for rubber. This one is being set up for rubber belts. Alright, now that we have that automatically producing, let's go back to the computer at hand. We're going to need a lot of circuit boards. Okay. Let's get to work on more geothermal units then. Because we're going to need that silica now. And we're going to need a ton of it. I'm going to wander off towards where that node is at. Well, never mind. I didn't bring enough supplies. Alright, I'm going to put down a forge here that can create silica. Well, once we have it anyway. Alright, these geothermal units do seem to regulate the temperature out here pretty good. And I mean, we may as well place some while we're going out here anyway. Where the hell is this thing at, man? Should be almost there, right? Should be right here. Aha, it's hiding behind the rocks. Alright, I don't think we have enough plates to go all the way back. Then we do not, for sure. Not even close, man, damn. Like, we're here. We need so much more. So far, though, the volcano hasn't erupted or anything. I think the heat is literally just the only obstacle this planet has. And to be fair, I think if you just place down these geothermal units everywhere, and just have a ton of food on you, it's not really that big of a problem. Compared to some of the other ones, like Ocean World, where your entire base gets flooded. Or Etheria, where just an entire planet, or like island, is just gone for a while. Like, even the previous planet, Nova Terra, there were a lot of cold spots. Honestly, other than those spots, it wasn't really that bad either. That was way faster to go into painful effect than the heat. Heat takes a little while. Alright, I'm gonna try the conveyor belt again. We have like 72 plates, so hopefully that's enough. Yeah, okay, we're definitely not gonna make that. So I'm running out of oxygen out here. Just place a quick compartment down. That also helps against the heat. So I guess secondly, that's another way you could negate it. I'm taking a look at the map. I don't see any human structures or something that resembles it. I'm guessing Nova Terra was kind of the only one that gets lore like that. Because I guess humans haven't been to this planet before, unlike Nova Terra. Which is kind of a shame if that is the case. Alright, there we go. With that, we have connected the conveyor belts. So we should be getting silica. 25 years. When all the quartz arrive. Alright, something I want to work on now is storage. I need to unlock warehouse tier 1. In order to do that, we need to craft the container tier 1. And then we need to craft container version 2. And I think after that, we unlock the very first tier of warehouses. Yes, and you probably heard me say it many times if you watched all the other episodes. But warehouses are like the most OP thing this game has. Because you can access them from anywhere. There we go, now we have access to warehouse tier 1. We cannot make it yet because it requires glass. So we need the silica for that. Let's see, how long is that gonna take? I can see the quartz all the way in the distance there. That is still gonna take a little while. These tier 1 conveyors, they're pretty damn slow. Alright, the quartz are finally here. Means we have silica. Alright, so first things first, I want to get a warehouse, but I also want to have everything that is needed in order to make it go into it, basically. That way we can create new warehouses wherever we are, and that's going to make automation so much easier. However, in order to do that, we need plates, we need cables, we need to make glass panes. That is not such a big deal. We also have another iron node here, so I'm going to use this for the plates. Let's construct this first one. This will probably not be a spot that we're going to stick around super long. But I don't really mind how it looks at the moment. Let's see, I would like to get a splitter that requires more plates. We can have the other iron node turn into rods and then into gears. So then that gets a use as well, but we'll do that some other time. Ultimately, we need 3 part producers, another drill, and a forge. And then we should have everything. So first things first, we are going to need cables. So there we go, that's now auto-crafted. Let's see, that one was creating the cement. That can go in here too. And I have to kind of weirdly loop around here. There we go, cement is now in place. Then I need another part producer to make the silica into the glass panes. Actually, we should probably split it first, because we do need regular silica as well. God, this looks like such a mess now. Alright, and you know what? I'm gonna make it even more of a mess, because the silica itself is gonna go in here too. Then quickly just build a drill on here. Have the drill grow to a forge. And we need a couple more gears for the power producer, and then we should basically have everything to auto-craft warehouses. How ugly as it looks, I suppose. But hey, we're on this planet for colonization, not for making things look nice. They can figure that out themselves later. But also, at the beginning, it's always kind of messy, just because you need so many things, and you don't have the best components unlocked anyway, so things will go faster and easier later down the line. And there we go. That should be everything. So now when we need any of these items, we go to the warehouse. You can see we can almost build it if the plates would actually go in there. And back to the main task at hand, which was this thing. We need 2 antennae. Copper plates is not one of the things that goes in there, actually. We would have to pull that out, the forge still, and craft that ourselves. I could set up another power producer, actually, if we have the iron beams. I might do that real quick. Because we had it split off here anyway. Because my original plan was to put plates in here. But I ended up doing the silica. This now auto produces plates. Gives us a little stockpile. We can always place down another warehouse next to it. Place the copper plates in there as well as the rubber. Would help if I did grab the plates though. There we go, an entire computer. And we place this thing down right there. Now we can see what we actually need in order to terraform this entire planet. And oh my god, you can also see that this entire planet's pretty hot. And then you can see a tiny line right where this part is, where we are building. Yeah, the volcano is extremely hot. There's also a radioactive area. Our next objective is going to be making area fertilizers. And then we have a lava problem. Complete the next objective in the planet analyzer. Okay, so I guess we need to unlock some stuff first, I would imagine, in order to do stuff there. Alright, I'm quickly going to create another warehouse. This is just for the rods as well as the gears. I guess we can hook up the copper plates as well as the rubber belts to it too. While we're creating an ugly spaghetti mess anyway. Yeah, all of this will be torn out eventually and replaced with better machines, as well as like better conveyors. But I'm not too fussed about how it looks at the moment. Alright, there we go. The items are flowing in. Again, it looks absolutely terrible, and well, it's going to look like this for a little while until we have probably better machines for, or better conveyors for it. Okay, some of these can be fully replaced, like the greenhouse, for example, the rubber belts on their own. We can place these anywhere because we have these water extractors. Once we get situated a little better, we can fix all this up. Not that we're going to see it much anyway, because I don't think we'll stick around here for too long. But we'll see. I kind of want to move more towards the center, probably, of the island. Or wherever looks to be a cool spot to build. But for now, I'm going to be leaving it off over here. I hope you all enjoyed. And I see you all in the next one, where we'll be setting up many more constructions and probably make it look terrible. See you all then. Bye, everyone.